Yeah, definitely. And we have a scan on Stiver's main. Looks like the layer's done as well as the baneling nest. So Ghyslyn does know that banelings are able to pop out at any given time. So that's going to be a present threat in the Stiver's into Ghyslyn's mind. And it looks like he sent out those Marines, and those Zerglings took advantage of that, and now they're just going to go through Ghyslyn's main. Well, natural right now, just taking out some of those few Marines and Marauders, and they pretty much have total control over Ghyslyn's natural expansion.
Yeah, and at the same time, the main force from Ghyslyn seems to be moving in to the natural of Stiver. Going to be taking out some creep tumors. Going to work down these spine crawlers, take them out very effectively. It's going to actually look like it's going to force Stiver to bring back these Zerglings that were out at King Ghyslyn's base. They're going to come back and see what they can do to deal with this. The Queen even getting in on it, but she gets destroyed. Here come the Zerglings and some Banelings now too. These Marines stimming to try and get away. They're going to go around behind the mineral patch, but it looks like these other Zerglings are just going to surround them and take care of that quite handily. Some very good play from Stiver right there, surrounding those Marines, not letting them get away. He's going to be moving out and taking control of the Selnaga Watchtower back from Ghyslyn, who is building up a little force at his front, but it looks like Stiver, if he were to attack right now, he's going to send in he just sent in a Zergling to scout that out, and saw that he got taken out by a few Marines Marauders. But it looks to me right now, if Stiver were to make a push, he would do quite well. He would almost win this, I would say.
Yep, Stiver's getting his second expansion up. It's in production right now, and using his Zergling force to take out the rocks between that expansion and his natural expansion. So that's a good little area for quick defense, because the Ghyslyn's Terran army will have to walk pretty much through the entire middle section just to attack that base, while Stiver can just go around the corner and defend it from any type of assaults that Ghyslyn might try upon it.
Absolutely good play again there from Stiver, taking that correct expansion. Always better to expand in a place that's easier for you to defend. And as you said, the other expansion on the western side of his little spawning area here is just on the main attack path.
Yep, and if we look at the production tab, +1 weapons are getting researched for Terran. We got 25 Banelings about to spawn for the Zerg, with their +1 armor almost done. Got some tanks being built, a couple Marines. So this is going to be an interesting army between the two of them. But I would have to go for the Banelings just destroying anything that Ghyslyn tries to throw at Stiver.
Absolutely. As a Zerg player myself, it warms my heart to see that many Banelings out on the field right now. That's going to be entertaining. It always is.
Yep.
We see Siege Tech is finished. For Ghyslyn, he's got a couple of Siege Tanks out now defending his natural. We see a few missile turrets in place around the main. Probably looking to defend against any kind of harassment going on there. I've noticed now in the natural of Ghyslyn there's actually a changeling. It's just chilling there, looking around, seeing what it can see. I always love changelings. They are excellent scouting units. If you don't use them as a Zerg player, I highly recommend it. They do make a little noise when they transform, which the enemy does hear, but even so, a lot of players either don't really find them or just ignore them when they hear it, not thinking that it's a changeling. I was actually surprised when I started using them how many people just didn't really recognize that sound as being the changeling sound.
Oh yeah, it's something that you definitely have to watch for. I'm surprised that Ghyslyn hasn't used his SCVs to kill it, because I'm sure he's wondering what a Marine is just doing, just kind of chilling at the command center and not moving out with his army. I wonder if he's tried to click it and not being able to respond to his commands. But anyway, we see Ghyslyn's army pushing out, taking the Xel'Naga watchtower, just chilling right there. Okay, now they're gonna slowly venture forward. The siege tanks sieging up, while the Marines and Marauders. Okay, they get fungal growth by some infestors. So the bulk of his army is not really able to do much of anything. Some more fungal growth by the infestors. The Zerglings now moving in to attack the ones that are being put in place by the fungal growth. And then we see the Banelings coming up from the southeast. And it looks like they're gonna, yep, they just detonated and took out most of Ghyslyn's bio army. And now they're being turned on the siege tanks, taking out all 3 of those siege tanks. And these Speedlings are going to take out that last one.
That last lonely tank going out in a blaze of glory. Like I said, it just warms my heart. I love Baneling play. It's amazing against Terran, who build up a massive Marines and Marauders. Always good.
Yep.
We see Stiver now, actually. He's got a Zergling positioned at each of his opponent's close expansions right now. That's another good tactic. It only costs you 50 minerals to know exactly when your opponent's going to be expanding to those locations. Always smart.
Oh yeah, definitely. I see what you're talking about now. He is sending the command center over there, so it looks like he is going to take that expansion. Not sure if that's such a smart idea, since we have seen Stiver's Zerg force exploit that weakened spot in Ghyslyn's defense, but maybe he can make it work, since he does have a siege tank sitting up there, and that'll destroy any Banelings that try and get close to it. But if we look at the bottom right hand corner, we do see Stiver taking another expansion, so he did compensate for that by being one base ahead of him.
Absolutely, always good to keep one base ahead. We do have some Mutalisks now out on the field too. They're going to be working on that third from Ghyslyn. Looks like they're just kind of flying around, getting ready to take things out. And let's see what happens here. Here comes the attack. These Mutalisks taking out the workers that are building the refinery and the missile turret. They're going to take those down quite handily. These Marines stimming to come and deal with that, but the Mutalisks flying away.
Yeah, Mutalisks are probably some of the best harassment units the Zerg has in their arsenal. I hate them because they're cheap to produce, and they just tear through stuff up in mass numbers if you're not prepared to deal with Mutalist play.
Absolutely, looks like we have 18 of them out on the field right now. They're gonna come in quite handy,
yeah.
It seems.
And it looks like 26 additional Banelings are going to be spawning here in a few seconds. I mean, Banelings, Speedlings, and Mutalisks, a deadly combination to a Terran army if the Terran doesn't have any type of air force to back up his ground force.
Absolutely.
Not really seeing any additional expansions from Ghyslyn. He should expand at least one more time to keep up with the minerals that Stiver's going in, because if you look at the resource tab, Stiver's sitting at 5k minerals, so Stiver could just sacrifice his entire army just because he can, and still rebuild it in an instant and be ready for any type of counterattack that Ghyslyn does to him.
Yeah, it's a common tactic with the Zergs. They can just rebuild on a moment's notice any kind of force they want with that many minerals. So it's going to be interesting to see what Stiver does with these resources that he's gathered.
And we see Stiver's little Zerg army sitting. Okay, well, not sitting anymore. They're slowly moving out. Got some Zerglings protecting the Banelings with some infestors as backup. So, going to be interesting to see here now that Ghyslyn's moving his Terran army into the area, see what type of attacks that we're going to see.
And it looks like we have a Thor out on the field too, going to be able to deal with Mutalisks to come in.
And bad micro by Ghyslyn there. He's lost his main force right there, and these Zerglings, these Mutalisks are just going to tear through these Marauders and these siege tanks, which are trying to retreat, but no such luck.
No, they're just going to clean that up handily. Yeah, looks like that's about done. And yeah, they're going to retreat, it looks like, once that missile turret starts attacking them. Big drone transfer to the third of Stiver. They look like they're long distance mining right now because his main's mined out, but once that hatchery's finished, which it almost is, they're just going to chill around there and take care of that resource building.
We do see a Mutalisk patrol in the middle of the map, just seeing if Ghyslyn's expanded anywhere, and no such expansions from him, so these Mutalisks have total air control. Looks like they're going to do some harassment at Ghyslyn's expansion, taking out the majority of these SCVs, and some Marines that are running down the ramp here just ignoring these Mutalisks. They don't want any part of that.
I don't really think that they would be able to do anything to that ball of Mutalisks if they wanted to. We see Ghyslyn now coming in for an attack over on the natural of Stiver. Bunch of overlords there. Those might go down, but no, they're moving out of the way.
Yep, and some Baneling spawns, so we got more Banelings out on the map, and looks like these siege tanks are going to do their job, and they killed a few of them, but looks like these Banelings are just plowing through that tank line and took out at least half of that bio unit of Ghyslyn there, but
yeah, a lot of them did get taken out. These Mutalisks now attacking the third of Ghyslyn. There's a lot of Mutalisks there. It looks like they're going to be able to deal with this expansion quite quickly. The Marines Marauders just walking right by. They're going to go help out at the attack that's going on at Stiver's natural. His natural looks like it's about to get sniped down here.
Yep. With no type of anti-air except for these Marines, this ball of 20 Mutalisks are just walking all over the remainder of these Marauders, and
absolutely,
it's just a total decimation of the Terran force.
And even with the loss of that natural, we see there are 3 running bases for Stiver, and they look pretty well saturated to me. It looks like Stiver still has quite the income, while, oh yeah, if you go to the income tab right now, Stiver's income is quite high, and now with the main mined out for Ghyslyn, he's at 0 income.
Yep, he has pretty much no money coming in, and pretty much no army at all. If we look at units, he only has 1 Thor. He has 31 SCVs and 14 Marines with 1 Marauder. They're not going to do much to this Zerg army where we see more Banelings coming out, and they're just going to push on forward, taking out most of those Marines, and these Zerglings are going to take out that Thor because he has no money to repair the Thor.
This does look very grim.
Yeah, and these Marines, these Banelings here are just doing a burrow, and yep, they raised up and did a
kaboom! Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those SCVs just go down. There's the GG.
I was too speechless for words when I saw that explosion.
It was a thing of beauty for sure.
And there we have it. Game 1 of the best of 3 series goes to Stiver with excellent Zerg play. Banelings, Mutalisks, and Speedlings with a few Infestors thrown in there, just dominated over Ghyslyn's Terran force.
A lot of times, as a Zerg player, that's the way to go versus the Terrans. They do have units to be able to deal with it, but when your economy is booming as Stivers was near the end of the game versus zero income from Ghyslyn, it wasn't a close fight at all.
Uh, I hope you enjoyed this game. This is Maverick and eDgEIN signing off, and we'll see you at game 2.
Take care. See you next time.